Title is Biosensors. This is taken from the textbook which is there on your portal, handbook. Okay. So the title of Unit 2 subchapter is Biosensors. Basically, it is used to measure biological related parameters. The block diagram of bioreceptor is on the screen. It consists of basically two parts: bioreceptor plus a transducer. You see that thing in the figure. Okay, this figure shows the basic two main important components of biosensor. The one which is shown with circle, big circle and a small ellipse type of figure is actually the part of bioreceptor, and the one which is shown with square shape is nothing but transducer. The principle is very simple of sensing. The first part convert the applied sample into some chemical form which is measurable, and that is taken care by this bioreceptor. Okay, the measurable chemical parameter can be converted into measurable, mostly electrical signal by this transducer. So transducer is doing transduction operation of converting this measurable electrical quantity into mostly electrical quantity. Hope everybody understand the block diagram. Yeah. Let us move to the definition of bioreceptor. The bioreceptor is designed to interact with specific analyte of interest. Okay, the sample is actually here in chemical biological term is called as analyte. Whichever is our analyte of interest, okay, that is placed on this particular area. So the bioreceptor is actually designed to interact with these to produce an effective measurable. Okay, and that is measured by the transducer. Yeah, an example of bioreceptor. This is actually taken from the human body, right? So enzyme is an example of bioreceptor. One example of enzyme is catalysm plus analysm. Okay, so these two are collectively called as metabolism. So actually these reactions are catalyzed by a specific enzymes. In case of catalysm, there is some catalyst available with the help of which we can perform catabolism. Similarly, in case of anabolism also, we use some enzyme with the help of which we can perform anabolism. And these two processes are collectively called as, I am not going to go into this thing, just to show you what is actually the bioreceptor. I am taking an example of any enzyme present in our body. Okay, what is enzyme doing internally in our body? Playing the role of catalyst, helping in performing some chemical reaction. Yeah, now I'm going to next slide. Yeah, this is an important parameter which is needed in the design of proper design of biosensor, and that is called as immobilization. Suppose these are the catalyst which is shown with the triangle figures. Okay, you see the curve, the sawtooth kind of receptors are available. Okay, okay. If suppose these analyte are going to fit in this area and it look like this, then in that case we will be able to get signal at the output, okay, which is in response to these analyte excitation. If suppose what happen is, if the shape of analyte is not equal to our receptor shape, then in that case what happen? They fail to get catch with the analyte, and in that case we may not be able to get a proper signal at the output in response to the excitation. Yeah, that is actually called as immobilization of bioreceptor. I just want to give you a few point about this thing, because a short answer question is expected on this topic. A short answer question is expected on this. Draw the block diagram of biosensor. In that case, you need to draw this block diagram. A short answer question is also expected on this. Define bioreceptor with example. Okay, what is the rule of transducer in biosensor, right? So Similarly, a question is expected like this: why immobilization is an important factor in biosensor, in particular in bioreceptor? And the answer is, if we fail to trap the annelid, then we may not be able to produce correct output. That is the answer. If you want, you can write. Why proper immobilization is necessary in the design of bioreceptor for biosensor? Okay, answer. You need to take the help of this figure, okay, in order to answer to this question. The help of this figure is necessary. Please mind it. You may take later also, no problem, or if you want, you can draw. I will wait. Write down. It is necessary to have immobilization of annelid in the design of bioreceptor, to properly trap the sample, and accordingly produce the output. To properly trap the sample and accordingly produce the output. For going into transducer, what I will do is, what are the methods available for immobilization? I will try to cover that first. Okay, then afterwards we will come to transducer. So for that, I am going to next slide. Write down. The methods available for immobilization are as follows. First one, write down. Physical, it is actually absorption. Physical absorption. Please correct it. It is not D, it is B. Physical absorption. Second one, covalent binding. The next, chemical entrapment. Etc. Chemical entrapment, etc. Figures are not necessary. It is needed for medicine student. It's not necessary for you people. Yeah. So we have seen that the immobilization, the need of immobilization, and also we have seen that what are the different methods available to perform the immobilization operation. Now we will move to next part of biosensor, that is called as transducer. Now remember, we are still in introduction. Transducer, we all know that a transducer is a device which is transforming one form of signal into another form. In case of biosensor, it is capable of converting biorecognition event into a measurable signal, mostly electrical signal. I repeat, it is a device which is converting the biorecognition event into a measurable signal, mostly electrical. In case of glucose biosensor, the following things are needed as part of transducer. This is shown actually in next slide. So you see, I am going to show you, in case of glucose meter, the transducer job is to measure the content of oxygen. The transducer job is also used to measure the pH value of the sensor, that is to calculate the chemical acidity or chemical content of the device, sorry, the sample. And the transducer job is also to measure the peroxidase sensor. So these are the three important tasks of a transducer in case of glucose biosensor. I'm going to show you that with the help of a proper figure. Hope you understand the meaning of transducer in case of biosensor. Now, you please see this figure. This is also there, actually taken from the textbook chapter 6. So figure 6.1.3, the three possible transducers needed for glucose measurement. Okay, you see, when the blood glucose is mixed with oxygen and the catalyst used is glucose oxidase, then what happens is, on the right hand side you will get two possible production. One is gluconic acid, H2O2, sorry, gluconic acid, one is gluconic acid, and the second one is H2O2. So in this case, we need to measure the gluconic acid content with the help of pH sensor, and we also need to calculate the H2O2 content. So for that we need to measure H2O2, and also we need to calculate how much oxygen is absorbed in with the applied sugars blood sample for the intention of measuring the glucose. So these three things we need to measure. Hope it is clear to everybody. You see, the bioreceptor which is used in this particular case is glucose oxide. Oxygen is available in the environment, so that is automatically getting mixed, but we need to measure how much it is getting mixed, and also we need to calculate the acidic content, and also we need to calculate the H2O2 content. So this is the brief story about the principle of glucose biosensor. So with the help of this, we have seen both parts of biosensor, bioreceptor molecule as well as the transducer. Yeah, so far we have seen what is biosensor, block diagram of biosensor. Then we have seen in detail with the help of a proper example the bioreceptor and the transducer. Okay, and also we have seen the need of immobilization in the design of biosensors. So these things are covered so far. Now I am moving to next part of the content which we need to cover. It is again falling in overview. The first one is the characteristics of biosensor. So it is actually a formal parameter of biosensor. It is actually static characteristics. It is not dynamic characteristics. So there are the 8 parameters which is falling in the static characteristics of biosensors. So the first one is sensitivity. Already we know what is sensitivity. Sensitivity is nothing but the slope of curve which is drawn when we take the input-output relationship. Okay, already we have seen this thing many times. That is the change in input by the change in output is called as sensitivity. The second one is selectivity. The third one, range. We have seen range also. Response time also we have seen. Response time is actually falling in dynamic characteristics. Then reproducibility. Reproducibility also have shown you. Detection limit. Detection limit is again an extension parameter of range. Lifetime. Lifetime is actually the accuracy, the guarantee related parameter. Like some used to give 1 year guarantee, some used to give 2 years guarantee. So that parameter is called as lifetime parameter. And the last one is stability. Stability means it is actually a parameter related to our precision. We all know that a system is said to be precise. For the same input, it should always show the same output. Okay, so stability is also calling the same thing. So these are the 8 parameters. This question is also expected for short answer. We need to just mention the list the content. Okay, the 8 parameters which is following in biosensor characteristics are as follows: sensitivity, selectivity, range, response time, reproducibility, detection limit, lifetime, and stability. This question is important. Consideration in biosensor development, meaning what are the design parameter which is considered in the design of biosensor development. Please write down this thing. The parameter which is considered in the design of biosensor development. The parameter which are considered in the design of biosensor development. Yeah. These are the 5 parameters which are considered in the design of biosensor. The first one is selection of suitable bioreceptor. Already I told you. A bioreceptor selection is the first and primary task in the design of biosensor. Usually it is doing by a chemical engineer, right? Usually it is doing by a chemical engineer. Okay, the second parameter which is needed in the selection in the design of biosensor is selection of suitable immobilization method. Already we have seen the need of immobilization earlier, and the methods available also seen. So which suits to our application, that we need to design. So this is again very important thing in the proper design of biosensor. Then the third thing is, as expected, the transducer. Okay, we selection and the design of proper transducer is very important. Next very important task. Then after that, after completing the first 3 tasks, we need to go for design of biosensor, considering these parameters which are actually static characteristics and a few dynamic characteristics. Like a few is mentioned: linearity, minimization of interference, and sensitivity. So these things in particular we will see after completion of these 3 tasks, and accordingly we will proceed the completion of sensor development. Finally, after performing the first 4 tasks, we need to think about the packing of biosensor in a complete device. Now I'm going to application of biosensors. So there are many areas of biosensors applications. The first and very important is healthcare. Healthcare area is now on hot. Okay, if somebody interested in choosing a field belonging to instrumentation engineering, so the possible option is think for healthcare application using IoT and machine learning. Okay, now I will be talking about biosensors. Measurement of metabolites, market potential, diabetics, insulin therapy, artificial pancreas. A few I will be explaining, rest you please read from the textbook. Okay, the insulin therapy is shown on the screen. We all know that there are many ways of doing or addressing the diabetic patient. A few are open loop and a few are closed loop. We all know the procedure for this measurement is we need to first calculate the glucose content, right? Accordingly, one method is chosen in order to address to this particular problem. If the chosen method is injection, we need to inject insulin. Advantage is shown here. Available without implant, meaning there is no need to implant the insulin inside the body. Externally we can inject. The disadvantage, frequent glucose measurement is needed in this particular case. So it means that if we follow this procedure, measurement of glucose test followed by suggesting some insulin injection, disadvantage is frequent glucose measurement is needed. Okay, one more, this thing, artificial pancreas. So if suppose internally an artificial pancreas is implanted in the human body, in that case no need to frequently provide the measurement of glucose. So that it take care of measuring the glucose content and then providing the necessary insulin administration from that artificial pancreas. So still this is not closed loop. Automatic. In case of automatic system, artificial pancreas, it is okay. This one is shown as not closed loop, and this one is shown as for closed loop process. In this particular case, the system internally includes glucose measurement and accordingly providing proper injection. That is again included in the artificial pancreas system. Both will be implanted in the human body. The disadvantage of this type of system is susceptible to blocking and malfunctioning, and a patient need to carry it always the artificial pancreas. So anyhow, we need to understand from this, where is biosensor? The biosensor is this one, the measurement of glucose. It can be done manually from the external device. It can be done internally with the help of implanted type of artificial pancreas. Okay, welcome back. So in the above figure, I have shown you biosensor, measurement of glucose externally and also internally with the help of artificial pancreas. This is actually the discussion of artificial pancreas. So the purpose of this is to get use when the closed loop system becomes an artificial pancreas. The glycemic control is achieved through implanted glucose sensor. Meaning the meaning of artificial pancreas is actually a closed loop system which take care of controlling the blood sugar level, okay, with the help of implanted type of device, which internally include the glucose measurement and the administration of proper insulin accordingly. So it is difficult for me to explain you this figure because it is more related to chemical or medicine type of discussion. So I will leave to you. You please try to understand. Understand. Yeah. In industry, we will use this biosensor for bioreactor operation. Bioreactor actually used to cultivate recombinant cells for production of therapeutic proteins such as insulin. So if you want to see, we all know that internally our body is able to produce insulin. So if you want to produce insulin with the help of the external chemical method, in that case bioreactor control is very, very important or crucial parameter that can be made with the help of biosensor. Okay, in military and homeland security applications, in that case what is needed is the requirement for rapid analysis is also present in military application. Recently, military engagement in the Middle East has caused rather rapidly the deployment of field usable sensors. This is important. So in the field of battle, there is a need to use field usable sensors for chemical and biological warfare agents. Okay, so maybe it is related to the chemical weapons or something like that. Okay, next, environmental monitoring. In case of environmental monitoring, Environmental Protection Agency, air and water monitoring, okay, make use of biosensors. EAPA's environmental monitoring and assessment program was established to provide a comprehensive report card on the conditions of nation's ecological resources and to detect the trends in the condition of those resources. Actually, you need to just mention the applications of biosensors. So no need to give in detail the information, because it is just a list kind of question. So it can be used in bioreactor control, that is in the production of insulin. There is a need to have bioreactor control. For that, biosensors are an important tool. You can mention that in many military and homeland security applications, there is a need to have field usable sensors for chemical and biological warfare agents. In case of environmental monitoring, there also biosensors play a major role in the monitoring of air and water monitoring related parameters. Okay, this is also already covered. So this also I have already explained you. You just need to explain this particular architecture. Already this is covered, I think, in your chemistry. So this particular device is actually origin of biosensor. I already told you the origin of biosensor is glucometer. In that case, oxygen is reacted with the glucose, and the catalyst used is glucose oxidase, and a possible reaction produces production of gluconic acid and peroxide H2O2. So from here onwards, I will discuss in next class. So hope you understand the thing discussed in today's class.